Hey, it's Barb, and last week I told you about my opportunity that I'm honored to have is to give a TED-style talk in a couple of different venues, and I'm very excited about it. You know, TED Talks, it's a TED-style talk, which means you have 20 minutes to speak. Sometimes topics are assigned, other times, and in my case, I could pick whatever I wanted to talk about, you know. And so I have chosen to talk about, this isn't the title, but basically it's going to be about 4 attributes that I see in people who excel, and not only people who achieve, but people who live fulfilled lives, who are happy and who are respected, you know, just people that are just extraordinary people in every way. And this has been a passion for me as a writer, as a competitor, and you know, as time has gone on, as a person, to, you know, how do you get that kind of magical combo of excellence and joy? So I also last week asked you if you were going to give a talk like this, and someone said you can speak on anything that you want to. What would you pick? Or if you pick 4 attributes of extraordinary people, what 4 would they be? And it was so interesting. I had a lot of people leave comments, and as you know, I really love that. And before I tell you my first one, because this week and in the next 3 weeks, I'm going to share one at a time and let you know how it impacts your writing. But before I do that, I want to share with you what other people wrote in. And I can't go through all of them, but what I am going to do is tell you the ones that I got that were mentioned multiple times. And the first is people who are kind, and people who love horses and people unconditionally. I got that, some version of that a lot, and I really love that. To be a forever learner, no matter your age, no matter what happens, no matter where you find yourself, to be a forever learner. To go for what you love in the way that you love it. And this one I found really interesting. I mean, I absolutely agree, but it was just, I just loved it that it came up a couple times. And that is to teach and inspire young people. I just think that's awesome. And then the last one is just to be encouraging in general. So those were the ones that I got from you. So here's my first attribute. It is to really live and go for what you love in the way you love it, so much so that it supersedes a lack of belief in yourself. In other words, you know those people who, you know, you might say they were born in the saddle, or you might say she was a born artist, or, you know, you just see it, whatever it is that they do, it just like, it's all over them, it's all around them. And I think that we all have that innate love and drive to do something, and in our case it's with horses. And but I think that when people commit to saying, you know, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to see where it takes me, and we'll just see, but for the joy, because it is in my soul, I'm doing it, and we'll see. And so because of that, they still go through vulnerabilities and I'm sure they doubt themselves from time to time, but they don't ever like get stuck in that lack of a belief. And this really impacts, it might seem, oh, well, Barb, that's pretty theoretical, that's a little rhetorical, but it impacts our writing. And let me tell you a story about this wonderful young man. He was at a clinic where I was, and I loved helping him. He obviously had a love for riding, and he was a good rider, and he had a really nice horse. And he came to the clinic, and he'd been having some challenges, some problems, and he was really disheartened, which happens to all of us. I understand that too. He had, and this, it's easy to get this from a lot of places, but it's easy to start believing that we can't do it, that we're never going to make it, that there's something wrong with us. And he was buying into that hook, line, and sinker to the point that if the least little thing went wrong, it was like evidence that, like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the problem. That always happens. No matter how good it was, and maybe what the thing that was happening happened a little less than the last time, which to me is, that's the path. But we got through it, and he started doing great. And so when we parted ways, I just said, whatever about his writing. And I said, and just never stop believing in yourself. You love this. You're good at it. You can do whatever you want. Follow that joy and see where the journey takes you. And never, ever allow that inner voice to tell you that you're less than. So that's my story, and it impacts your writing because here's what happens. When things go wrong in your writing and you believe that inner voice that goes, see, I told you, that's what happens, you're never going to be good enough. You're never going to get that. Your whole body, everybody's body sinks. Your eyes go down, everything gets tight, and you kind of stop trying. You not only stop trying, you stop engaging with your horse, and your horse is probably going, I thought you were here with me a moment ago. Or maybe you get tighter and you clench. So that deeper passion with a belief is present in everything you do. So anyway, that's my number one, or it's not that it's the most important, but it's the first one that I'm sharing with you. So there you have it. Leave a comment for me. You can say something about what you think about what I said, or what those other awesome attributes were of the other people who submitted them. Or you submit your 4 if you haven't done that, or maybe you want to change them. I don't know. But it's just so fun for me to read them. And I was going, yeah, that's right, you're right. And other people can see them also. Anyway, have a great week and leave a comment.